Hey guys, it's TimeLimitVGC. I think this is another match that we're gonna have. So I gained points even though I lost the last match. We got a D. Wait, I think it was my opponent that DQ'd, so maybe that's why it didn't count as a loss on my end. But definitely, I was gonna lose that match anyway. So unfortunately, that had to happen. I felt that my opponent was definitely at a better position than I was. So anyway, we've encountered another opponent, Drake, who will be running a Dragapult, Arcanine, Rotom Wash, Before anything, we can definitely determine that there are two Prankster supports. We have the light screens from Grimmsnarl, and Rotom can potentially do that. And then he has the Intimidate. Well, it could be Intimidate Arcanine, but it's honestly probably justified just because he has the Whimsicott there. And then it could also be, so there's like a huge support between Whimsicott and Dragapult. There is a weakness policy Fling set that's going around that does some crazy damage. And then Celebi, we don't know what type it is. I don't think the icon says it because that looks like it's normal, maybe flying. I don't know. It's the white color, so probably one of those types. Could probably be Steel. I'm not sure. We'll find out as the game goes on if he brings it. Definitely, I feel like Trick Room is an amazing counter to this team. But at the same time, we have a lot of opportunities to go for some Sun tricks. Although I honestly believe that we should just keep it simple. So I feel like if I set up Trick Room, a Scavalier can have a huge way to get in. So I'd probably go for Grimmsnarl, Reuniclus, have a Scavalier in the back. And then if things take a left turn, we can definitely use Dragapult, since Dragapult has some pretty good uses. So we're not going to be using any of our Sun tactics. Granted, there is a Rotom, so definitely like Bioplume and Torkoal would have been really good answers since both of them have access to Solar Beam. But we'll see what happens. So Drake, who is number one, good luck, have fun, and hopefully let's see how this match goes out for us, right? So, what does Drake lead off with? I haven't seen a team that doesn't focus on Trick Room, Tail... Well, I mean, this is a Tailwind team, right? So, okay, he sent out Celebi, and that looks like the Steel type one. So, not too far off to what I thought it was. So, what I'm thinking is we set up a Reflect, since I'm assuming both these Pokemon are physical. And then we could do the Trick Room that I've been talking about. The issue is if he fakes out, or if he goes for a... I don't think many Grimmsnarls are already taunt. But it's still a possibility, right? So, what we can actually really do is just go for Play Rough. That'd be really offensive if we went for Play Rough and then, go for Trick Room. Because if he attacks, we're in trouble. But if he sets up his screens, we're not too much in trouble either. So what I'm going to do, this is really, really tricky, really tricky. Let's go for, I want to play the long-term game, so let's go for Reflect Trick Room. See what happens. I was about to time out there for a second. So Grimmsnarl goes for Fake T. Okay, well, my bad. This is a special Celebi, so definitely Celebi is going to go do some crazy damage. I went for Reflect. Sometimes I wish I would be running both Reflect and Light Screen. There goes the Shadow Ball. Should pick up the KO, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay, cool. So Reuniclus is naturally bulky. Really cool set from my opponent. I really love Fake Tier combos. They're very deadly and lethal and such, but as you can see, the Celebi isn't necessarily super... I mean, Shadow Ball's a great move and everything, but since it's not stab, it didn't pick up the KO. So, interesting position. I would say let's go for Play Rough onto Grimmsnarl, and again, I'm assuming that's a Steel type one. I would Dynamax and go for Max Knuckle, bring up the attack, and then, boost the Grimmsnarl. I do have two choice spawns in the back, so definitely reserving my Dynamax is very important. At the same time, since everyone's physical, I think by Grimmsnarl having +1, it could definitely help us out. He could have a priority move. I'm gonna protect. I don't want to protect either because then I would be wasting turns, right? So this isn't necessarily a good idea, but I'm gonna go for the Max Knuckle. Do I want to go for Max Knuckle? You know what? Let's go for Max Knuckle. I feel like my opponent was one step up further from me right now, so I don't feel too bad for going for the Max Knuckle right now. But yeah, I know Grimmsnarl gets Sucker Punch, so that's definitely a huge issue right now. And if I went for Max Mindstorm any earlier, I could have set up a Psychic Terrain, but then I would be unable to set up Trick Room. So hopefully he doesn't go for a Sucker Punch. And he goes for the Reflect. Okay, this is not bad at all. So what happens is, I get the Max Knuckle off. I'm assuming that's Steel. Yeah. So Salabi is Steel type. It does pick up the 1-hit KO. Really good stuff. Now my Grimmsnarl gets an attack boost. And this basically, it doesn't neutralize the Reflect, but it still allows me to do a lot of damage. And then I'm going to go for the Play Rough. Oh wow, it just picked up the 1-hit KO. Was it crit? Oh no, it wasn't. It's just +1 Play Rough. So really good stuff there. I really like the Max Knuckle strategies since they really build up your team's physical attack. And the team that I brought in this specific match basically needs all of the all of the Max Knuckle boosts. So that's really interesting that happened. So yeah, Rotom comes out. I think the biggest threat we have right now is Rotom. The cool part is that Intimidate came out, but I'm now at neutral. The biggest issue is obviously the fact that he set up Reflect. So I definitely want to go for Max Mindstorm onto the Rotom. I am afraid of a extreme speed right now since he has that opportunity to do that. I feel like Dragapult is a really good way to deal with the Rotom. How many turns of Trick Room do I have? So I have approximately 3 turns left. I'm okay if Reuniclus goes down, because what happens next is that I can bring out the Escavalier and then go for like a Drill Run onto the Arcanine. But in the scenario where Arcanine doesn't want to go ahead and pick up the 1-hit KO... Wait a minute, I meant to go for Max Mindstorm onto Rotom, but it's okay. Oh, what's this? Okay, I completely forgot that my opponent still has not won for the Dynamax yet. If it's Arcanine... Okay, awesome, it's Arcanine, because this means he can't go for the Extreme Speed, which guarantees my Reuniclus for going for an attack. So my Max Mindstorm comes out, which means he can't use priority moves. Not that it mattered, since he is already in Dynamax form, and he's at 50%, which means my Escavalier can come in and go ahead and pick up the KO with Drill Run. So I think it was a good idea going for the Max Mindstorm onto the Arcanine anyway. I went for the Play Rough onto the Rotom, but I missed. Very unfortunate, 10% miss. When I go for the Thunderbolt, picks up the KO onto the Reuniclus. This is okay because I have 2 turns left to Trick Room, and this is where I get to use the Scavalier's Choice Band. Max Flare. This is probably a special. So I think that I don't know if that's physical or special. So I think that's really cool for my opponent. So he has Life Orb, right? So really good from my opponent for hiding that information by going for the Dynamax first and then using his moves. I can't determine if it's physical or special. Definitely, Escavalier is amazing here. The problem right now is that I have to get rid of Rotom, because if he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, then it becomes a really bad game. Plus, I also realize that I can't go for Drill Run, because if Rotom goes for Will-O-Wisp, rather, if I get stuck with if Grimmsnarl gets KO'd, I'm stuck into Drill Run, which will not allow Escavalier to, recklessly hit a lot of Pokemon. Ideally, I could go for something like Mega Horn. The thing is, since I Dynamaxed the Reuniclus, I can't Dynamax out of banned moves, so I have to think a little carefully here. I am in a Trick Room. I probably want to do... Okay, so I probably want to do Darkest, but then he could protect it, right? So I think his Arcanine's like, okay, I should really get rid of the Escavalier. So I'd probably go for... I want to double target. The problem is if he gets the Protect off, I'm in trouble. And then if he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, then we're also in trouble too. So I think Mega Horn's the best bet. I know it's really risky to miss these moves. I'm putting on a lot of risks right now because he probably. But then again, so okay, hear me out. He wouldn't want a Will-O-Wisp when he can 1-hit KO. Okay, cool. So Mega Horn goes out first. Again, it's not going to do super effective damage, but because I double targeted and went for Trick Room, and I'm going to Trick Room, this definitely works out for me. So I think that the thought process he was having was, okay, Escavalier had, you see, he didn't go for Will-O-Wisp either. So what I'm thinking is he went for, okay, Escavalier is going to get KO'd by Max Flare, so there's no point in Will-O-Wisp means something that's going to get KO'd in one move. That being said, I should focus on getting rid of Grimmsnarl. So if that's the case, both of my physical attackers can go focus on Arcanine, and thank goodness I didn't miss, right? Because RNG could have been really bad right now. And the cool part is, I can go for Phantom Force under Trick Room is bad. Phantom Force outside of Trick Room into Trick Room is really good, but I don't have any options right now. And I'm gonna go for Mega Horn onto the Rotom. And he can Will-O-Wisp, and it can be a long drag to game, but I think... Oh, I missed. Yeah, but I think I'll be okay because I resist this. Or rather, this is neutral damage. Yeah, I go for the Shadow Force. I think Trick Room expires. So I'm in trouble in the sense that I start... Yeah, so he's definitely going to hit us, but at the same time, like, Phantom Force is going to hit. Let's hope Mega Horn hits. We should be set. We're at a really good position. That's a really bulky Rotom, actually. Now I'm a little bit worried. Because if he Will-O-Wisp, he has a chance to do this. As well, he's probably Scarfed. Yeah, so he's definitely worried about the Escavalier. So the game comes down to if Rotom can paralyze by Dragon Bolt. Because if he paralyzes it, he has a chance of winning. Otherwise, not much can be done. I'm just really surprised how bulky the Rotom is, considering how, it's, like I said, it's probably Scarfed. So yeah, my Shadow Force has to hit. It's going to be like a 3-hit KO. This will be the second one. So hopefully he doesn't get that paralysis, because if he does, then the game is in his favor. He already Dynamaxed, so we don't have to worry about maxing or any other shenanigans. Alternatively, he could Will-O-Wisp, but like I said, he's probably Scarf. Oh yeah, he has Citrus Berry. Okay, we're kind of in trouble. Oh, he's not Scarf. Okay, so he's just bulky. Hydro Pump is going to do a lot of damage, but it's more than Thunderbolt, right? But it doesn't get that chance of paralysis or any other effect, so I'm definitely happy with that. So yeah, I'm just going to keep going for the Shadow Force. There's nothing you can do right now. Unless he went for like a nasty plot, that'd be really insane. No, Thunderbolt. Okay, cool. So he probably wants to go for Hydro Pump again, but then he can, miss. My Reflect expires, but I don't have to worry about that since we're dealing with special type attackers right now. Phantom Force comes off. Oh, cool. Was that a crit? No, it wasn't crit. Okay, it was just a really good damage roll. But okay, cool. So, wait, was that my opponent's Reflect? That's probably why they're so bulky. I don't know. I don't recall. I'll probably watch the video again and check it out. But good game, Drake. Really appreciate how you were playing really efficiently. Definitely made me think outside the box because, like I said, did I really want to Dynamax my Reuniclus when it only had 44 HP? Like, that's crazy. But anyway, definitely a good match. And yeah, so this was TimeLimitVGC, and